Have you ever found yourself heartbroken in a relationship, only to look back and see that it was actually a blessing in disguise? Sometimes, in His infinite wisdom, God intervenes to protect us from situations that aren't meant for us. In today's video, we'll explore 5 powerful signs that God may be shielding you from a bad relationship. These signs often go unnoticed, but they hold the key to understanding His plan for our lives. As Christians, we seek His guidance, especially during challenging times like a midlife crisis or relationship struggles. If you're feeling lost, stay with me until the end, where I'll reveal the most overlooked sign. It might just change how you view God's protection in your life. Before we dive in, if this resonates with you, please like this video and subscribe Christian Philosophy Daily for more Christian motivation and daily wisdom. Let's journey together in faith, understanding, and strength. Now, let's begin. Sign 1. They reveal their true character early and leave. When God wants to protect you, He often brings the truth to light sooner rather than later. This can happen when someone shows their true colors early in the relationship. It might be painful, and sometimes it feels like a harsh rejection. You might wonder why things went wrong so quickly. Perhaps they got upset over a small issue or suddenly became distant. It's not just a coincidence. It's often God's way of steering you away from deeper pain. God understands our hearts far better than we do. When someone reveals their negative traits early on, it's a sign. It's His way of saying, "This is not the person I want for you." Think of it as a form of divine intervention. He sees what you can't and knows the kind of relationship you truly need. In the beginning, everything feels exciting. It's easy to overlook flaws because you want things to work out. However, when the person suddenly changes, when their behavior turns harsh or unpredictable, God is pulling back the curtain. He's showing you the reality of who they are, so you won't invest more time and emotions in an unhealthy relationship. In Christian philosophy, this early revelation is a blessing in disguise. God may be saving you from years of emotional turmoil. It's not that the person is bad. They're just not right for you and your spiritual journey. God wants you to have relationships that reflect His love, those that bring you closer to His purpose. Some might argue that conflicts are normal in relationships. And that's true. No relationship is perfect. But here's the difference. When God reveals someone's character, it happens in a way that you simply can't ignore. The signs are clear. The relationship drains your energy, peace, and even affects your faith. Consider this example. You meet someone and things seem perfect. They make you feel special and promise you a future together. But one day they get angry over a minor issue. Maybe it's a disagreement or unmet expectation. They react harshly, cutting off communication and leaving you confused. It feels like a storm out of nowhere. This is when you must listen to that inner voice, the one telling you this isn't right. That voice is God speaking to you. Sometimes, we make excuses for their behavior. We convince ourselves it's just a phase, or that we can help them change. But God is showing you their true nature for a reason. He's protecting you from a deeper heartbreak. Think about it. If this is how they react now, how would they respond to bigger challenges in the future? The Bible teaches us that God desires peace in our lives. A relationship filled with conflict, fear, and unpredictability isn't what He intends for you. By allowing you to see these red flags early on, God is giving you a chance to step away and seek a relationship that aligns with His plan. A relationship of mutual respect and love. If you've experienced someone revealing their true character and then leaving, take heart. It's not a failure or a rejection of your worth. It's God protecting you from further pain. Embrace this as a sign of His love. He knows what you need, and He's guiding you towards something better. By understanding this sign, you find peace in knowing that God's intervention is for your good. Trust His timing, His plan, and know that this revelation is His way of keeping you safe from a bad relationship. Sign 2. Friends and family's concerns are confirmed. When we start a new relationship, it's easy to get caught up in emotions. Sometimes we overlook warning signs that those close to us can see more clearly. This is why God often speaks to us through the people who care about us most, our friends and family. When they express concerns about your relationship, it's not to criticize, but to protect you. Their worries can be a sign that God is trying to guide you. In Christian philosophy, we are taught to value wise counsel. Proverbs 11:14 says, "Where there is no guidance, a people falls, but in an abundance of counselors there is safety." When your loved ones raise red flags, it's worth listening. They might notice patterns or behaviors that you overlooked because of emotions. Their concerns aren't roadblocks, they are safeguards placed by God. However, we often ignore these warnings. We think our friends and family just don't understand, or that they're being too cautious. Yet, when their concerns start to become reality, this can be God's way of opening your eyes. He uses their wisdom to show you things you might be missing. Consider this. Suppose your friends and family express doubts about the person you're dating. They point out behaviors like a lack of respect, broken promises, or how this person prioritizes their own needs over yours. At first, you brush off their comments. You think they're just being overprotective. But over time, you start noticing the same issues. The behaviors they warned you about become impossible to ignore. This is not a coincidence. It's God working through your support system. He places people in your life to offer a perspective you might not see. Their warnings aren't meant to make you feel ashamed. They are confirmation that this relationship might not be what God has planned for you. It's normal to feel embarrassed or disappointed when your loved one's concerns turn out to be true. You might feel like you failed in some way. But remember, this isn't about blame. It's about God guiding you away from a path that leads to heartache. He's using the voices of those who love you to protect you. By allowing you to see their concerns come to light, He's giving you strength to make a wise choice. God's guidance often comes in unexpected ways. We might hope for a direct sign from Him, but more often, He speaks through the people around us. He nudges us through their wisdom. When friends and family share concerns, it's an act of love from God. In times like these, it's crucial to embrace humility. Recognize that emotions can cloud your judgment. Trust the support of those who know you well. They are God's instruments, providing insights to help you make choices that align with His will. So if your loved ones' concerns are starting to ring true, don't see it as defeat. See it as a sign of God's love and protection. He cares for you so much that He places people in your life willing to speak truth, even when it's hard. He wants you to have relationships that are built on respect, kindness, and genuine love. In the end, God's protection often involves listening to the wisdom around us. When those closest to you share their concerns, take a moment to reflect. Don't dismiss their words. Ask yourself if what they are saying could be part of God's plan to guide you. By paying attention to their warnings, you might avoid a relationship that would bring more pain than joy. God's deep care for us is evident in the people He surrounds us with. He knows that relationships shape our lives. He wants to keep you on the path that leads to peace and fulfillment. Trust that the concerns of your loved ones are part of His divine protection, guiding you toward what is truly meant for you. Sign 3. They lead you on and then date someone else. One of the most confusing and painful experiences is when someone leads you on, only to start dating someone else. It feels like a betrayal, leaving you questioning your worth and what went wrong. But sometimes, this is God's way of protecting you from a relationship that could have caused even more pain in the future. When you're in the midst of this hurt, it's natural to feel rejected. You might think, if only I were different, they would have chosen me. However, it's crucial to view this through the lens of Christian philosophy. God sees what you cannot. He knows the character and intentions of each person. When someone leads you on, making promises they never meant to keep, it's a sign. They were not truly committed, and God is intervening to save you from further heartache. In the beginning, everything seems perfect. They say all the right things and make you feel special. You believe you're building something meaningful. Yet deep down, you might sense inconsistency. Maybe they give mixed signals or keep their options open. You ignore these red flags because you want to believe in the best. Then suddenly, they start dating someone else. It feels like a slap in the face, but it's actually God revealing the truth. Imagine if you had entered a serious relationship with someone who was not loyal. The betrayal would have been far more devastating. By letting them go now, God is freeing you to find a relationship that aligns with His plan. He wants you to experience genuine love, not one built on empty promises. God's protection sometimes comes wrapped in rejection. While it's hard to see at the moment, this is a blessing in disguise. When someone leads you on and then leaves, it's not a reflection of your value, it's a reflection of their character. God is keeping you from investing more time and emotion in a relationship that would harm you. Think about an example. You meet someone who seems perfect. They're charming and make you feel special. You spend hours talking, building a connection, and envisioning a future together. Then out of nowhere they disappear. Soon you find out they're dating someone else. It feels like everything you built was a lie. In these moments, it's easy to feel lost and angry. You might question God, asking why He allowed you to go through this. But remember, God works in mysterious ways. By ending this relationship now, He's sparing you from greater sorrow. If this person is willing to lead you on and then date someone else, they were never committed to you in the first place. God's love for you is unwavering. He wants the best for you, even if that means removing people who don't honor your worth. The person who led you on is not who God has chosen for you. He has someone better in mind, someone who will respect, cherish, and be faithful to you. This experience is an opportunity to grow in wisdom. The next time you encounter someone who gives mixed signals, you'll remember that God often guides us through the discomfort in our hearts. When actions don't match words, that's a sign. It's God's way of urging you to protect your heart and walk away. So if you've recently been led on, take it as God's intervention. He's redirecting you to a relationship that aligns with His purpose. Trust that this pain is temporary and that it's clearing the path for something far more fulfilling. In the end, God's protection is not about punishing you or taking away something good. It's about steering you toward a love that reflects His truth and grace. Remember, God will not let you settle for less than what He has planned. Keep your heart open, your faith strong, and know that this experience is shaping you for a relationship that will bring true joy and peace. Sign 4. Unanswered prayers for the relationship. One of the hardest things to accept is when a heartfelt prayer goes unanswered. You might have prayed earnestly for a relationship to work out, asking God for clarity and commitment. Despite your faith and hope, the relationship didn't flourish. It's easy to feel frustrated, questioning why God seems to say no when your desire for love is so genuine. But here's an important truth in Christian philosophy. An unanswered prayer is often God's way of protecting you from a path not meant for you. God's wisdom is far greater than ours. When we pray for a relationship, we often focus on what we want in the present moment. We imagine the joy, companionship, and fulfillment that this partnership could bring. However, God sees the bigger picture. He knows what lies ahead, the struggles, the challenges, and the potential heartache. Sometimes in His love, He withholds what we think we need to guide us toward what we truly need. It's natural to feel confused when your prayers go unanswered. You might think, why would God deny me something good? But consider this. God's no is often a redirection, not a rejection. He knows what is best for you, both spiritually and emotionally. The relationship you're praying for might not bring you closer to His purpose for your life. It's not that the person is bad, but that this relationship isn't what God has planned for you. Imagine you're in a season of singleness. You meet someone who seems perfect. They have the qualities you've been praying for: kindness, faith, and shared values. You begin to envision a future together and pray for God's blessing on the relationship. Yet, despite your prayers, things don't progress. There's a lack of peace or an ongoing distance. In these moments, it's crucial to lean into your faith and trust that God's guidance is at work. God's no can be difficult to accept, but it is always for our protection. He understands that the relationship you're hoping for might hinder your growth or lead you away from His will. Perhaps He knows that this person, despite their good qualities, isn't the partner who will truly complement you. Or maybe He wants to build your character and strengthen your relationship with Him first. The Bible reminds us in 1 John 5:14, "And this is the confidence that we have toward Him, that if we ask anything according to His will, He hears us." This means God hears every prayer, but he answers them according to his perfect will. If a relationship doesn't happen, it's because it wasn't aligned with his best for you. And that is something to be thankful for. Think of it this way. Unanswered prayers clear the path for the relationship God has designed for you, one that will bring peace, joy, and fulfillment. By closing one door, God is preparing you to walk through another. It's his way of protecting you from settling for a relationship that might satisfy your desires now, but hinder your spiritual and emotional growth in the long term. If you're facing an unanswered prayer, take heart. It's a sign of God's deep care for you. He is not ignoring your desires. He is guiding you towards something better. He's teaching you to trust in his timing and to believe that his plans are far greater than anything you could imagine. Use this time to draw closer to God, to grow in faith, and to prepare your heart for the relationship that reflects his love. Remember, God's protection is his promise. When he says no, it's because he's preparing a yes that will bless your life beyond measure. Sign 5. Repeated obstacles or blocked plans. Have you ever felt like no matter how hard you try, the relationship you're pursuing just doesn't seem to work out? You make plans, but they fall apart. You try to have important conversations, but they lead to misunderstandings. Every step forward feels like it's met with a setback. This can be incredibly frustrating, especially when you've invested time and emotions. However, this is often one of the clearest signs that God is protecting you from a relationship that isn't meant for you. In Christian philosophy, we learn that God is not a God of confusion. He is a God of peace and order. When things repeatedly go wrong despite your best efforts, it's worth considering that God might be intervening. These obstacles are his way of guiding you away from a path that could lead to more pain. When God blocks your plans, it's not to frustrate you, but to protect you. It's his way of keeping you from settling for less than what he desires for you. It's natural to think that the roadblocks in your relationship are just challenges to overcome. You might believe that if you work hard enough, you can make things right. While it's true that every relationship requires effort, there's a difference between working through challenges and forcing something that's not meant to be. When you constantly encounter obstacles, plans falling through, communication breaking down, or constant misunderstandings, it's a sign. God is trying to show you that this relationship is not in alignment with his plan for your life. Let's consider an example. Suppose you've been dating someone for a while, and you're trying to plan a future together. Every time you discuss important life decisions, you find yourselves on different pages. When you plan trips or time together, something always comes up to prevent it. Work emergencies, family issues, or unexpected events constantly block your path. You feel like you're walking against a strong current, fighting to keep the relationship afloat. This constant struggle is not what God intends for you. A relationship that aligns with God's will brings a sense of peace, even in the midst of life's challenges. Yes, all couples face difficulties, but when God is at the center, there is unity and progress. If you're facing repeated roadblocks, it might be God's way of saying, "This isn't the path I want for you." He uses these obstacles to protect you from committing to a relationship that would drain your peace and joy. It's crucial to recognize that blocked plans are not a reflection of your worth or effort. It doesn't mean you're not trying hard enough, nor does it mean that you're unworthy of a loving relationship. God is not punishing you. He is protecting you. In his love and wisdom, he sees the future you cannot. He knows that this relationship, no matter how much you desire it now, will not fulfill his plan for your life. By blocking your path, he's keeping you from walking into a situation that could harm your peace, joy, and spiritual growth. This is where Christian motivation comes into play. Instead of fighting against the obstacles, consider surrendering to God's guidance. Pray for clarity and the strength to let go if this relationship is not his best for you. Remember, God's love for you is far greater than any earthly relationship. He wants to lead you to a partnership that reflects his love, grace, and purpose. So, if you're experiencing repeated setbacks, don't view them as failures. See them as God's way of guiding you towards something better. Trust in his timing, even when it feels like you're missing out. In the end, God's protection often comes through blocked plans and closed doors. These obstacles are His way of saying, "Wait, I have something better for you." Trust in His plan, and you will find that what seemed like missed opportunities were actually blessings in disguise. Let these obstacles guide you toward a relationship that aligns with His will. A relationship filled with love and peace. Conclusion. In this video, we explored the 5 signs that God may be protecting you from a bad relationship. From revealing true character early on to unanswered prayers and repeated obstacles, each of these signs reflects God's loving guidance. Remember, His protection might not always align with our desires, but it always leads to something better. Trust in His timing and wisdom. He knows what you need. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe Christian Philosophy Daily for more Christian motivation and insights into life's challenges. Let's continue to grow together in faith and understanding. Share your thoughts or experiences in the comments below. They might inspire someone else. Remember, God's plan is greater than our own. And sometimes, what feels like rejection is His way of directing you toward a relationship filled with peace and purpose. Stay strong in your faith, and know that He is guiding you every step of the way.